Vishnupad Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Śrīla Gurudev ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtarashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtarashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Goraksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopala Bhattadas Raghunath, Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar, Rai Ramanandari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala, Gaura Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Shri Nishinga Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Bhakta Pravar Shri Prahlāda Maharaj ki jai, Shri Lakshmi Nishingadev ki jai, Shri Nishinga Chaturdashi Titi ki jai, Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Dandavat pranams Ganga Didi and Madhavi Didi, Hari Bol. And everybody else who's watching, Raseshwari Mataji, Hari Bol. And Rohit Radha Krishnanji, Dandavat pranams. Alright, so today I'm going to be reading a class by my Śrīla Gurudev, which was just newly revised and updated, added diacritics and checked it against the sound files, I think. So this is, okay, it's part 2. It's a bit long, but it's, yeah, really nice. It was spoken by my Śrīla Gurudev in New Braj, California, May 14th, 2003. In the first part of the article, my Gurudev gets pretty heavy. We'll see. And then maybe afterwards we can sing this song from that I sent out recently by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yeah, let's do that. All right, first we'll read this though. On the subject of Shri Prahlāda. Hari Bol Surevi Didi. Happy Nishinga Chaturdashi. Right. Today is a very auspicious day. It is the appearance day of Sri Nishingadev. I came here in the morning and requested that throughout the day at least 12 speakers discuss this subject. Now I think it would have been better that they had not spoken anything, but just read the verses and the purports given by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. This 10 times better. I do not appreciate that they discussed topics that were not on the subject of Lord Nishingadev. I wanted that the chapters on the pastimes of Shri Prahlāda be read, from the first chapter to the end of the last chapter. I indicated this, but the speakers did not do so. I am very worried. How will they be able to preach if they cannot follow my instructions? This was not the appearance day of Jaya and Vijay. That part should have been told in an outline. The speaker should have simply read Srimad Bhagavatam and its purports given by Srila Swami Maharaj. I heard that one speaker said in his class that Ravan has 10 heads. What was the purpose of telling this today? Another bogus speaker also spoke out of subject by saying that Ravan attended the Swayamvar of Sita. What was the purpose of saying this? I don't know. They should have spoken about the teachings of Prahlāda to the children of the demons. That would have been very good, and I would have been very happy. Why did they speak out of subject? I don't know. How can they preach my mission? They should not speak out of any time. I know that if I had told Mahibharat, Radhakanta, or Atul Krishna Prabhu, they would have done better than these speakers. I don't want that in the future they will do all these unwanted things. I thought that they would read all Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what I told, but they haven't done. Perhaps he, Aranyamaj, followed something, and Aranyamaj also spoke something. But for hours and hours, speakers were out of subject and telling bogus things. I think you shouldn't speak anything that I haven't told. Otherwise, you will speak so much out of subject bogus things that are not written in Bhagavatam, Ramayana, or anywhere. Try to follow my example. I never leave the appropriate subject and only speak what is written thoroughly in Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures. Only hear from bona fide persons. I wanted that all the best things be told. Be alert and very careful about this. Now I am coming to the subject. When Prahlāda Mahārāja returned from the school of the atheist teachers Shanda and Amarka and spoke to his father about the principles of Krishna consciousness, his father angrily told his teachers, "I will take your heads. Why did you teach Prahlāda about devotional service to Vishnu?" Trembling, the teachers replied, "We have not taught Prahlāda this. We don't know why he is speaking about it. You can ask whether we taught him about this." Hiranyakashipu turned to Prahlāda and asked, "Where have you learned this? If these two haven't told you this, then who has told you? Why are you boldly saying these things about surrendering to Vishnu, my enemy?" Then Prahlāda began to speak. How come it says Śrīla Gurudeva anyways? Oh, Śrīla Gurudeva asking one devotee. Do you remember this shloka? You should speak on this topic. I wanted that these subjects should be spoken, but not sure what they spoke. My grace. Okay. Atul Krishna Prabhu. Matirna Krishne parata svato vamito bipadeta griha vratanam adanta gobhir vishatam tamisram puna punascharvita charvananam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.30. One second, who's messaging me? Okay, Raseshwari Mataji. No problem. Materialistic persons are simply mulling over that which has already been muled and chewing that which has already been chewed. Because their senses are not controlled, they are proceeding towards the dreadful hell of this material existence, repeatedly trying to enjoy that which has already been consumed. The intelligence of such materially attached persons can never be turned towards Bhagavan Shri Krishna by their own endeavor, by the instructions of others, or by the association of similar materialistic persons. Prahlāda said, "O my dear father, those whose consciousness is not fixed on Krishna but on other things, even if they take help from others, even if they come together, they will not be able to understand what is the goal of their life and what is in their self-interest. The real self-interest is to engage in bhajan. Their problem is that they have uncontrolled senses. They are griha vrata. They have taken a vow to remain in this world and somehow find happiness. Following their uncontrolled senses, they are chewing something which has already been chewed. There is no real enjoyment or ras in this world, but we are very foolish that we are endeavoring so hard to get one drop of happiness. Following this path, they are going toward the darkest region of ignorance, and they will go to hell and suffer their reactions." Śrīla Gurudeva. Who will go? Guru and disciple both will go to hell. Then nate. Atul Krishna. Nate vidu svartagatim hi Vishnu durashaya ye bahirartamanina andayatandhar upaniyamanas tepi shatantram urudham nibadha. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.531. Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense objects cannot understand that the goal of life is to give up this material life and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men led by another materially attached men are materially attached men led by another materially attached man are bound by the ropes of fruit of labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. Prahlāda continued, they do not know that their real self-interest, the ultimate goal of life, is to worship Sri Krishna. Instead, they place all their false hopes in trying to enjoy this world and place all their hopes in material things. They are blind and they are following other similar blind persons, and the result is that they will fall in the ditch. Śrīla Gurudeva. Then Hiranyakashipu became very angry and told Prahlāda, you want to say that I am blind and my guru Shukracharya is also blind and Shanda and Amarka are bogus persons? You think you know better than them? I will kill you. Then Prahlāda Maharaj spoke. Atul Krishnadas. Naishamate savaru urukramangrim sprishat anartha pagamo yadartha mahiya sampadarajo nishkinchananam navrineta yavat. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.532. The lotus feet of Urukram, who is glorified for his uncommon activities, destroy all anarthas in the heart. However, those who are very materialistic cannot be attached to his lotus feet until they smear their bodies with the dust from the lotus feet of great souls who are absorbed in Bhagavat Prem and who are completely freed from material attachments. Yes, you both are blind. You, your guru, and you. You are demons. I know that you are blind, and if you are not taking the dust lotus feet of highly qualified Vaishnavas, then your mati, your intelligence, cannot be changed. Atul Krishnas. How can your intelligence be fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna if you have not bathed in the dust of the lotus feet of any elevated Vaishnava? It will not be possible. Śrīla Gurudeva. Who are Niskinchana? Atul Krishnadas. Niskinchana are those who have no possession, and Krishna is their only possession. In their heart, Sri Krishna is Sri Krishna, their only possession. Śrīla Gurudeva. Good. I wanted all these things to be explained here, but bogus speakers told so many things out of subject. I don't know how they will preach in the future. I don't want these things. What became afterwards? Hiranyakashipu became furious, and taking his sword and club, he ordered his men, bring mad elephants and poisonous snakes. Throw them on him so that they will kill him. Bring poison and forcibly give it to him. Bring my sister and put him in a fire. Throw him from a mountain into the ocean and bind him to a stone so that he will drown. They did that. Thousands of soldiers came to kill him, but they could not accomplish the result they desired. Hiranyakashipu became anxious and fearful, thinking, I wanted to kill him, but he's not dying, and it may be that I will be killed by him. Shanda and Amarka arrived and consoled him. They said, Don't be worried. You have controlled Indra and all the other demigods, and Prahlāda is like a mosquito compared to them. Why are you so anxious? Wait a little. Our father Shukracharya has gone away for meditation. He will return shortly and make Prahlāda a very good boy. Don't worry. They took Prahlāda with them to their school and began again to teach him politics, duplicity, hypocrisy, diplomacy, how to earn money, and how to rule a country, to divide and control. Prahlāda did not say anything in the class. He was simply remembering his Lord Krishna. One day, the teachers told Prahlāda, "We are going out for an important job, so for some time, you should watch over these boys like a monitor. We will return very soon." With their teachers absent, the boys began to play here and there. Prahlāda requested them, Don't do so. Please hear. I will tell you something that will make your life happy." Prahlāda Mahārāja then began to tell what the speakers did not touch. I am very worried. Shamarani Dasi. The children wanted to play and engage in self-realization when they are older. Prahlāda told, "Kumara acharit pragyo dharman bhagavatan iha durlabham manushang janma tadapya dhruvamartadam." At Srimad Bhagavatam 761. Prahlāda Mahārāja said, "One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. We should pursue self-realization at an early age. Suppose if we have 100 years to live, 50 years are wasted in sleeping, and 10 years are wasted in playing foolishly as a child, 10 years in material educations, 10 years in sense gratification, getting married, having children, etc. 10 years are wasted in old age. So don't pursue economic development or money, as that doesn't bring happiness." Prem prayas. Komara acharit pragyo dharman bhagavatan iha durlabham manusham janma tarapya dhruvam artadam. Prahlāda is telling his friends, this human form of life is very rarely achieved after many millions of lifetimes. Śrīla Gurudeva. You should think that Prahlāda Mahārāja is instructing you all and try to follow all these instructions in your life. Then you should help others. If you are not following them yourself, how can you teach others? Prem Prayojandas. The human form of life is also temporary like other births, but this human birth is artadam. It has the power to give something that other births cannot give. Dharman bhagavata hina. In the human form of life, one can engage in Bhagavat Dharma, Prem Dharma, loving devotional service to Krishna. This is done from the very beginning of your life. As one grows older, one collects sanskar, which will be obstacles to perform bhajan at an older age. There will be deep attachments to family and household possessions. Śrīla Gurudeva. Tat prayaso nakartavyo. Prem Prayojandas. Tat prayaso nakartavyo yurvyaya param na tata vindate kshemang mukunda charanam bhujam. Srimad Bhagavatam 764. Endeavors merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed, for they result only in a loss of time and energy with no actual profit. If one's endeavors are directed toward Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There is no such benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. Just as distress comes without any endeavor, happiness also comes without endeavor. If you are working hard in this world to attain material happiness, it is a waste of time because all will come according to karma. So don't waste your time in this. Śrīla Gurudeva. Have you explained about 100 years? You should tell that. Prem Prayojandas. If you don't take to the path of devotion, then 50 years of your life will be wasted in sleeping. The first 10 years will be wasted in playing games. 10 years will be spent in education and learning some skill or profession to maintain your life. And the last 20 years, You'll be old and many diseases will be there. So how will you engage in bhajan? Śrīla Gurudev. Oh, one thing I forgot to check. What is it? Am I using the right? Okay, good. Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that, Rohit Radhakrishnan ji. I'll check this out after. And Haribol, Rup Manjari Didi, and Prajumna Prabhu, Mantaramurti Mataji. So, Śrīla Gurudev. At the time, how can you give up your newly married wife and weeping small children? Prem Prayojandas. When you collected so many material attachments, how can you give them up? Even if you try to give them up, it will come in your mind again and again. Śrīla Gurudev. If your father is so old, how can you give him up? Your little children will be very lovingly calling, Papa, Mama. How will you be able to give up absorption in them? Your beautiful gardens and beautiful dogs, how will you give them up? So it is better to give up everything material and chant and remember Lord Krishna. Very good. Prahlāda told his classmates, if you want to be happy, then practice bhakti yoga, devotional service to Lord Krishna. What was that? Then Śrīpad Madhav Maharaj. The classmates asked, how can we practice bhakti yoga? Prahlāda, it is very simple and doesn't require much endeavor. Guru shrushrushaya bhaktya sarva labdharpanena cha sangena sadhu bhaktanam ishvararadhanena cha. At Srimad Bhagavatam 7.7.30. One must accept the bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him with great devotion and faith. Whatever one has in one's possession should be offered to the spiritual master, and in the association of saintly persons and devotees, one should worship the Lord. You have to serve your spiritual master with Shrushaya Bhakti, just like it has been mentioned in the scriptures, Shvetashvatar Upanishad 6.23. Yasya deve para bhaktir ita deve tatha guru tasyaite katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. The conclusive essence of the Shrutis is only revealed to those great souls who have para bhakti unto Sri Bhagavan and who have an equal amount of bhakti for Sri Gurudev. The amount of para bhakti one has towards Bhagavan should be the same as towards Gurudev. Gurudev is not mortal. Then surely the meanings and essence of scriptures will come in the heart. Shanda and Amarka are not bona fide gurus, nor is their father Shukracharya, because they are absorbed in material things. Guru is not attached to material things. He is expert in all the scripts, and he is a realized soul. If you go and serve him, then very easily you can understand. Whatever you have, you should offer at the feet of Gurudev. You should engage with the Vaishnavas as per the 6 exchanges as mentioned by Srila Rupa Goswami. Śrīla Gurudev. The student asked, Prahlāda, you are always attending this school of Shanda and Amarka, so where did you learn this philosophy? Śrīpad Madhav Maharaj. Prahlāda Maharaj replied, I never learned anything from these bogus gurus. My guru is Sri Narad Rishi. When I was in my mother's womb, I learned all this philosophy from Sri Narad. Śrīla Gurudev. Prahlāda asked, are you convinced? The children replied, oh yes, we are all convinced. Then come and perform Sankirtan, the congregational chanting of the Lord's holy names. He then began Sankirtan. Shri Krishna Gopala Hare Mukunda Govinda He Nanda Kishora Krishna Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasiddha Shri Vallabhi Jivana Radhikesha Govinda Jai Jai Gopala Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. The devotees present also began, this is a note. The devotees present also began kirtan, but they were stopped by the loud voice of Shripad Asha Maharaj, acting as Hiranyakashipu, who in turn was ripped open by Shripad Mahibharatas, acting as Lord Nishingadev in that 2-minute drama. I'm kind of curious how that, should I check that out? Oh God, maybe I shouldn't. Okay, I will. Sorry, I'm not going to waste time. Thank you for this good demonstration. In a moment, Lord Nishingadev pulled Hiranyakashipu's intestines out. Let's just check it out really quick, if you don't mind. Where is it? No. I'll check later. In a moment, Lord Nishingadev pulled Hiranyakashipu's intestines out, put them around his neck, and began to roar. His mane began to fly in the air and made it seem as though the whole world would be finished. He was so furious that Lord Brahma, Lord Shankar, Sri Lakshmi Devi, and all other great personalities who arrived to watch the scene thought, "Oh, he will destroy the whole universe." They requested Lord Brahma, "You are his son. You should go and pacify him." Fearful, Lord Brahma objected. "Oh, this time I cannot go." The demigods then they requested Lord Shankar to pacify him, but he said, "I cannot go." After that, he asked Lakshmi Devi, "Lakshmi Devi, you are always serving and massaging him in the spiritual world. Please go and pacify him." She replied, "Today I cannot go." Brahma and others then requested Prahlāda, "You can do it. You should." Hearing this, Prahlāda very boldly and with no Nishingadev. Seeing Prahlāda, Lord Nishingadev began to weep bitterly with many tears flowing from his lotus eyes. He began licking Prahlāda's body as a lion, because he was in the form of half animal, half man. After that, he told Prahlāda, I am very upset that I have delayed. Your father gave you so much trouble. He even tried to kill you, and I delayed. Excuse me for this delay, and take any benediction you like." Prahlāda Mahārāja said, "I am not a business person. I don't want to beg anything or take any boon in exchange for my service to you. Prahlāda, because your seeing me must not go in vain. You must ask any boon to please me, otherwise I will not be pleased." Prahlāda said, "Please excuse my father and liberate him." "It has been done." "How has it been done?" 21 generations of an Uttam Adhikari, topmost Vaishnava, will be liberated, even if the generations of family members are not devotees. For those who are Madhyam Adhikari, second-class devotees, their fathers and mothers of 14 generations will be liberated. If one is even a Kanishta, a neophyte devotee, but simply chanting and remembering Krishna, then 7 generations will easily be liberated. Your father is in the first generation, therefore he will surely be liberated. Now ask for any benediction." Prahlāda said, "If you want to give me a benediction, grant me that I should live in this world for many years, suffering everyone's problems which they have received due to the reactions of their sinful activities, and their pain of the endless chain of birth and death, so that all will be liberated from top to bottom." "How can this be?" Lord Nishingadev asked. Sri Prahlāda said, "You can do this very easily because you can come peace. All the living beings are part and parcel of you, and they are your eternal servants, so I know that you can certainly liberate them." Lord Nishingadev then said, "If anyone hears, remembers, or tells others about our pastimes, they will certainly be liberated. They will be liberated gradually, first taking shelter of Śrīla Gurudeva by instruction and initiation." Sri Prahlāda Mahārāja never asked for salvation or Sayujya Mukti, the impersonal liberation of merging onto the Supreme Lord's effulgence. He rejected everything material, and therefore he is a high-class Param Bhagavat, a great devotee. Nishingadev told him, "You will be the ideal example. People will say, always be a great devotee like Prahlāda Mahārāja. He is a devotee like Prahlāda Mahārāja." When the subject of bhakti, pure devotional service comes, people will say, Prahlāda Mahārāja was a Mahabhagavat, a pure devotee. So many difficulties in life came, but he tolerated them all. He never cursed his father or replied in harsh words. We should try to realize these truths and try to practice bhakti yoga like Prahlāda Mahārāja. I wanted the speakers to elaborately discuss this today in class. I am very worried. I am disappointed. This subject should be dealt with, giving up others. In the future, you should be careful about this. I wanted to glorify Prahlāda Mahārāja. Entered. Kirtan break. Why did Lord Nishingadev appear from a pillar? He did so to make the words of his devotee true. Before being killed, Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlāda, "Where is your Lord? Have you ever seen him?" Prahlāda replied, "Oh yes, he is everywhere. There is no place where he is not. He is in the atom, in the heart of all living beings, everywhere." Do you believe this? Yes. Then know that Lord Krishna is watching you everywhere and in all circumstances. If you are stealing anything or doing any nonsense, others may not realize what you are doing, but he knows. He is everywhere. Then Hiranyakashipu said, "Is he in this pillar?" Prahlāda replied, "Certainly." Hiranyakashipu then picked up his club, and with his fist, he crushed the pillar. A loud roaring sound at once came from the pillar, and then Ashram Maharaj roars. Frightened, Hiranyakashipu began looking around to see, from where is this sound coming? He then saw that it was coming from the pillar. Satyam vidhatum nijabhrita bhashitam vyaptim cha bhutesh vakileshu chatmana adrishya yatyad bhuta rupam udvaham stambhe sabhayam namragam namanusham. At Srimad Bhagavatam 7:8-17. To prove that the statement of his servant Prahlāda Mahārāja was substantial, in other words, to prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Thus the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. Lord Nishingadev is so merciful that he came to fulfill the four Kumars' curse of Jaya and Vijay, the two gatekeepers in Vaikuntha who are cursed to come to this world as Hiranyakashipu and his brother, and to fulfill the boon which Brahma gave Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu cannot be killed by anyone in creation, nor in the night, or in the day, nor in any month of the year, nor by any weapon. To make Lord Brahma's words true, Lord Nishingadev came in the evening, at sunset, which is neither day nor night. He did not die in the sky or on earth, for Lord Nishingadev picked him up and put him on his lap. He did not die inside a room or outside, for Lord Nishingadev killed him in a doorway. He did not die by any weapon, for Lord Nishingadev killed him with his nails. He ripped Hiranyakashipu apart and took out his intestines. So Lord Nishingadev came from the pillar, and Hiranyakashipu saw that he is everywhere. You may think, I am alone when doing nonsense. But he will see. His eyes are the sun and moon. He is all the atoms of the air. He is in all the atoms of air. Lord Nishingadev wanted to test Prahlāda by offering him boons to see if he is willing to be cheated by them. He offered to give him the Sayuja Mukti that was given to Shishupal. He offered to give him that salvation which so many sages and maharshis, saintly kings, and the line of Shankaracharya could not achieve in thousands of births. Nṛsiṁhadeva was willing to give this to Prahlāda very easily, but Prahlāda refused it all. He again and again requested Prahlāda to accept this, but he refused. We're going to be learning this shloka in our Rupa Shiksha program. Salokya sarshti sarupya samipyaikatamapyuta diyamanam nagrinanti vinamat sevanam jana. My devotees do not accept salokya, sarshti, sarupya, samipya, or oneness with me, even if I offer these liberations. in preference to serving me. Prahlāda said, I am not a business person. I will not take a boon for you in exchange for my service to you. What to speak of the Sayurja Mukti and personal liberation? I don't even have a personal desire to be in the spiritual planets of Vaikuntha. I do not want anything as remuneration. Sorry. Lord Nishingadev asked, what do you want? Sri Prahlāda said, please be merciful to all living beings. By that I will be pleased, and you will also be pleased. Because you are Bhakta Vatsal, you have unlimited desire to please your devotees, and you know that all living beings are your personal eternal servants. Please be merciful and give that benediction to all, and if you want, I will stay in this world forever, suffering all their sinful reactions. But he never took that. He also said, Nata yoni sahasreshu na shuyeshu vrajamyaham teshu teshvachuta bhaktir achuta stusadatvayi. That's Sri Vishnu Puran 120:38. O Master, sorry, this isn't Prahlāda speaking. O Master, in all the thousands of births through which I must wander in this world, please let me have unfailing devotion to you, the infallible Supreme Lord. O Achyuta, infallible Lord, I don't mind accepting hundreds of thousands of births, but I want that wherever I will be, I must receive the elevated association of your pure devotees and always worship you. I do not want anything else. Sri Lakshmi Devi, Gurudeva, Lord Brahma, Lord Shankar, and many other great personalities were present, but Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva gave preference to Prahlāda Mahārāja. He said, I could not cheat you. You have conquered me. I don't favor Sankarshan or my Lakshmi Devi, or my messenger and carrier, Garuda, or Lord Brahma as much as I favor a devotee like you. Therefore, I cannot cheat you, so you have conquered me. Sri Prahlāda Mahārāja never cared for any problem that arose in his life, and he accomplished his mission in a very short time. His father wanted to kill him, but he never cared. If death is to come, it will come, and you will not be able to do anything to protect yourself. Prahlāda Mahārāja was very bold. You should also be bold like him. I am telling all these truths for you. If death is coming, or so many problems and sufferings are coming, try to keep your feet on the head of them all. Do not be upset. Try to do bhajan, chanting and remembering Krishna without any hesitation and not considering any obstacles. This is the teaching of Sri Prahlāda Mahārāja. So that is the end of part 1. Let's see. Part 2 is also kind of long. What time is it? It's 8:16. Okay, let's read this also. Sri Prahlāda Mahārāja, Confidential Facts. This is spoken the next day, May 14th, right? And this one is May 13th, is it? Let's see. No, this is also spoken the same day. Okay. Prahlāda let me just check the comments. 1 second. Prajuna Prabhu, I don't know the answer to that. 7, 8, 17 is your favorite verse. Which one is that? 7, 8, 17. Satyam vidhatum nijabhrita bhashitam. Okay, yes. Yeah, maybe that's a good verse to remember today. Oops. Oh God, sorry guys. I just went looking at this comment by Rohit Radhakrishnan ji. This verse is from Nishingadev Puran Reference Sri Prabhana Jivanamrita. A Sanskrit devotional. Okay, by Śrīla Goswami Maharaj. Right? The Supreme Lord dispels the suffering of a surrendered soul. I deliver from all suffering one who accepts my shelter, saying, O God of gods, O Supreme Refuge, I am surrendered unto you. Nṛsiṁha Puran. Beautiful. What is the connection with Nṛsiṁha and Hanuman? I don't know. Manjari is sharing stuff now. Let's see. Oh, my rising dark moon, my child, you are not asleep? No sleep. No, sleep has not come to me. Listen, my son, I will tell you a bedtime story that will make you fall asleep. What is this story I have never heard? Please tell it. Mother Yashoda then told the story. When she came to the sentences, then Lord Nishingadev appeared from a pillar. Lord Nṛsiṁha was very eager to rip the demon to shreds. A smile suddenly arose on child Krishna's lips. Ah, what a sweet verse from Padyabali. All right, so let's read this one now. Confidential facts. Prahlāda and Bali Maharaja. We're going to go a bit over time today. When Shri Krishna's incarnation, Lord Vaamandev, came to the palace of Bali Maharaja in the form of a dwarf Brahmin, his feet and legs were naturally very small. He told Bali Maharaj, I want something from you. Bali Maharaj became very happy and said, ask for any boon, a very beautiful wife, a kingdom, heaven, wealth, reputation, or position. I can easily give you this. Lord Vaamandev replied, I am a Brahmin boy. I am always satisfied. I don't want anything unnecessary. I want only 3 steps of land so that I may sit there and do bhajan. Bali Maharaj began to laugh and joke with that young Brahmin. He said, you are just a boy, a child, and your intelligence is also very small, like that of a child. I want to give you everything imaginable, but you do not want to hear that. But you do not want that. But all right, I shall give you the 3 steps of land as you desire. Bali Maharaj said, anyways, never mind. Lord Vaamandev asked Bali Maharaj to do a sankalpa, a ceremony to make a vow that would consecrate the offering and finalize it. Bali Maharaj's guru Shukracharya was actually a materialist and was thus worried about his own security. He warned Bali, be careful, don't make a vow and give him anything. Don't believe him. He is Vishnu, not a dwarf. He is the imperishable Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Accepting Kashyapa Muni as his father and Aditi as his mother, he has now appeared to fulfill the interests of the demigods. He is cheating you. Give something that will not be harmful to you. Give something, but in a way that he can take everything. Bali Maharaj replied, if he is Vishnu, he will somehow take everything away. Everything already belongs to Vishnu, God, so why should I not give what he asks? And if he is not Vishnu, he will not be able to take anything except the 3 steps of land. Lord Vaamandev then said, if Shukracharya does not assist you in making the vow, I will do so personally. Now take some water from this vessel and do sankalpa. While Bali Maharaj was preparing to do the sankalpa, Shukracharya thought, he did not obey me, and now Vishnu will take everything. I must prevent that water from coming out of the vessel so that the vow will not be accomplished. Because the water was not coming out, Lord Vaamandev took a small stick and pierced the hole in the spout of that vessel, and blood at once began to flow from it. From where had the blood come? Shukracharya was a powerful mystic yogi. He had made himself become very small and had entered the vessel to stop the water from pouring from the spout, and now he became blind in one eye. Of course, because he always had one eye on worldly things and not on transcendental truths, he was actually blind in one eye even before this incident. Persons who create problems for those who are coming to do bhajan and to accept a guru are blind in one eye. Don't give any such problems to your husband, children, wife, friends, or anyone else. If any associate of yours wants to do bhajan, tell them they are doing very well and say, I bless you, I will help you. If your husband or wife is trying to do bhajan, don't stop him or her. If you do so, you will become blind in one eye. After the vow was pleaded, clever Lord Vaamandev at once became so tall that his body extended from the earth to the sky. By this pastime, he became known as Trivikram, for he took 3 giant steps. His first step encompassed the entire lower half of the universe, and his second step covered the upper half. Now it seems that there is nothing remaining for Bali Maharaja to give. Vaamandev asked, where should I put my third step? Shri Vaamandev was very clever, and Bali Maharaja was also clever. Bali replied, I am fully surrendering to you. Please take my body. Place your foot on my head. He did Atma Nivedan, full surrender of the body, words, and mind and heart. But what was the result? Vaamandev arrested him and bound him with the ropes of. There was a great roar of lamentation in all directions, but Bali Maharaj was nonetheless fixed in his determination to serve and love the Lord. It appeared that Lord Vaamandev was punishing Bali Maharaj, especially when he ordered that Bali would now have to go to the lower planetary system to reside. Bali would lose his usurped kingdom. But it was not an ordinary hellish planet to which the Lord sent Bali. This planet had been created for Bali by the Lord's own desire, and it was more opulent than any heaven. He even had the famous architect Vishvakarma build Bali Maharaja palace that was far more opulent than that of the King of Heaven. Prahlāda Maharaja at once arrived, along with Lord Brahma, and asked Vaamandev, What are you doing, Lord? He has given you everything, and you are binding him? This was an indirect glorification. Tears came in the eyes of Prahlāda Maharaj out of ecstatic affection for the Lord, and he also had great affection for Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was the son of Virochana, who was the son of Sri Prahlāda Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was thus the grandson of Prahlāda Maharaj. Lord Vaamandev saw Prahlāda Maharaj was weeping due to his love for his family member, and he therefore very humbly said, O Bali Maharaj, you may ask for any benediction. Being very clever, Bali Maharaj replied, In my palace in Sutala there are 49 gates. There is no certainty by gate or lane I will go out or in. I request the benediction that you stand at the gate of whatever lane I pass, all the time, day and night. Thus he made Sri Vaamandev gatekeeper, and Vaamandev, Vishnu, happily accepted this. Why did Vaamandev give this benediction to Bali Maharaj? It was because of the Lord's affection for Prahlāda Maharaj. Otherwise, Bali Maharaj hadn't done anything to deserve it. A donation of only a universe cannot bring the mercy of Vishnu. Do you understand? No one can satisfy the Lord by wealth, position, or any other material offering. Vaamandev gave the boon always present in Bali Maharaja's palace due to Prahlāda Maharaj. He told Prahlāda, Always remain there in Sutala and be happy with your relatives there, and I will also always be there. I also will always be here. Okay. Prahlāda and Banasura. Have you heard of King Banasura? He was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and he had thousands of arms. Aniruddha, the grandson of Lord Krishna, was in love with Banasura's daughter, Usha. Aniruddha secretly went to Banasura's palace to stealthily meet with her. Banasura found out and wanted him arrested. Aniruddha fought to protect himself, but he was finally defeated and arrested by Banasura and his army. Narad, who is also a clever personality, brought the news of this to Sri Krishna and Sri Baladev. He told them, Banasura had captured your grandson. At once, along with his entire army, Krishna reached there and began to fight with Banasura. Banasura used his thousand arms to fight with many clubs, arrows, and other weapons. But during that battle, Krishna cut off all his arms and hands except for 4. In the meantime, Banasura remembered his lord, Shankar, Lord Shiva, who immediately came and began to fight on Banasura's side. Lord Krishna shot a special arrow called Vishnu Dwara, and Shankar shot his Shiva Dwara. Shankar was defeated and then remembered Parvati, who came to that spot. There was a demigoddess named Kotara, who was worshipped by Banasura, and their relationship was as mother and son. Mother Kotara was upset that Banasura's life was in danger, so she appeared on the scene. With naked body and scattered hair, she stood before Lord Krishna. Shri Krishna did not like the sight of this naked woman, and to avoid seeing her, he turned his face. We see this demigoddess as a manifestation of the power of Shankar, Parvati Devi. Krishna then stopped his fighting and said, "O Shankar, O Parvati, what do you want?" They requested, we want that he be spared. Please don't kill him." Krishna then said, "All right, I will blame that he will be loyal to you, and he will properly worship you." Why was all this enacted by the Lord? The reason is that Banasura was also in the dynasty of Sri Prahlāda Maharaj. Ultimately, Krishna did not favor Banasura because of Shankar nor Parvati, nor for any reason other than Prahlāda Maharaj. Prahlāda and Ravan. While Lord Vishnu was in the palace of Bali Maharaja as the gatekeeper of his entire palace, Ravan came to conquer the world. Conquering almost everywhere, he arrived in Sutala and wanted to fight with Bali Maharaj. He knew that Bali Maharaj was a very strong personality, and so he desired to defeat him. However, when Lord Vishnu saw Ravan coming, he simply kicked him with his toe, and Ravan fled very far away to Lanka. Why do this? It was because Ravan would have otherwise disturbed Prahlāda Maharaj and his grandson Bali Maharaj. He threw Ravan from there because of his affection for Prahlāda Maharaj. From Durvasa Muni. The Puranas relate still another history. Dwarka was once invaded by a demon named Kush, and its residents became afraid. The demon wanted to kill all the inhabitants of Dwarka, who thus began to weep. They begged the sage and powerful yogi Durvasa Muni, "Please go like the wind and find our Lord. You must know where he is. Please ask him to come at once and save us." Durvasa went to Sutala and prayed to Lord Vishnu. "The demon Kush has invaded Dwarka and is about to kill all their citizens. Please come and save them." Lord Vishnu told him, "Aham bhakta paradhino yasvatantra ivadvija sadhubir grasta hridaya bhaktar bhakta janapriya." Shri Bhagavan said to Durvasa Muni, "I am completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I am not at all independent. Because my devotees are completely devoid of material desires, I sit only within the cores of their hearts. What to speak of my devotee, even those who are devotees of my devotee are very dear to me." I am not independent of my devotees. I am under their control. If you like, you can pray to Bali Maharaj. If he orders me to go, then I can go. Otherwise, I cannot. Durvasa then approached Bali Maharaj and said, "O Bali Maharaj, please allow Lord Vishnu to go with me to save the residents of Dwarka. Otherwise, they will all die." Bali Maharaj replied, "You are capable of performing great tasks, and you know everything. You should know that it is not for me to say whether this clever and tricky personality should go or not. Lord Brahma and Lord Shankar always offer obeisances to his lotus feet. How can I order him to go? It is not so easy to order the Lord to do something. I do not know what will happen to the residents of Dwarka, but I will not order him to go. I cannot allow it." Bali Maharaj did not want the Lord to leave him. He knew that the Lord can do anything by his inconceivable power. Thus the Lord can stay in Sutala, and at the same time, he can go to Dwarka and save the devotees there. Why did Bali Maharaj have such power? It is because Prahlāda Maharaj was there. What an exalted devotee Prahlāda Maharaj is. Prahlāda the preacher. You may know that Prahlāda Maharaj accepted the kingdom of the world from Lord Nishingadev. He never accepted the boon of salvation and so on, but he accepted the kingdom of the world. Why? He thought, in this way I may easily preach devotion to the Lord everywhere. So if you have me, there is no harm in that. Use it in the service of Lord Krishna to preach bhakti everywhere. Then Krishna will be happy, the devotees will be happy, Bhakti Devi will be happy, and you will also be happy. Prahlāda the warrior. Prahlāda Maharaj once visited Naimisharanya, and there he saw a sage with matted locks, who had with him a bow and arrows and a sword. It is the duty of the Vedic king to maintain the proper religious and social system of Varnashram Dharma, and therefore Prahlāda asked him, "Why do you have weapons? You wear garments of a renunciate performing austerities, and at the same time you have a sword and bow and arrows. Why? I cannot allow you to do so. Either be a sage or a kshatriya warrior. If you don't agree to follow my instruction, if you like, you can fight with me and try to defeat me, but I will not allow you to do this." That person said, "I accept your challenge," and he became ready to fight. They were fighting 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and Prahlāda Maharaj could not defeat him. He began to wonder, who is he? Why am I not able to defeat him? He then entered a trance of meditation. In that meditation, he at once saw that that same garlands he had made with his own hands and had given that morning to his deity of Lord Nishingadev was on the neck of the person he was fighting. Prahlāda then realized, "Oh, he is a very big trickster," and he began to laugh. He dropped his bow and arrow and exclaimed, "Lord!" The Supreme Lord then gave him darshan as Nṛsiṁhadeva. Prahlāda Maharaj asked him, "I have promised to defeat you, but I could not. What should I do?" Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva wanted to test him. Otherwise, who could fight against him? The Lord answered, "I am always defeated by you. Not only today, but always. You always defeat me by your devotion." How exalted a devotee is Prahlāda Maharaj. What a neat story. Prahlāda and Narad. Narad Muni was once traveling from the places of one devotee to another, telling each one, "You are the greatest recipient of Sri Krishna's mercy." He had gone from worldly devotees to Lord Brahma, to Lord Shiva. Then he came to Prahlāda Maharaj and glorified him in many ways. In another instance, Sri Narad Muni prayed to Lord Vishnu, "I once received a curse from Daksha, who told me, 'You will not be able to stay anywhere for more than a moment, for as long as it takes to milk a cow.'" Jara, old age personified, had previously come to Narad and told him, "I want to marry you." He at once fled on his way to Goloka Vrindavan, and Jara also cursed him in the same way. How Narad begged Lord Vishnu, "I don't care about these curses. I want to remain always in Sutala and serve you there." Why did this incident take place? Prahlāda Maharaj is there, and due to this, Lord Vishnu always remains there. Interesting. Now, Prahlāda and Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. There are so many more teachings and glorifications of Sri Prahlāda Maharaj, and that is why Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said that everyone should read about the life of Prahlāda at least 108 times. He personally also gave at least 108 lectures about Prahlāda. If you really want to be happy, don't try to gallop over Prahlāda Maharaj to be in Vrindavan. Don't be mad for Gopi Prem. First, be like Prahlāda. Gradually be like Hanuman, then the Pandavas, then Uddhav, and then any servant of the Gopas, and then any servant of the Gopas and Gopis. You cannot attain Gopi Prem before doing this. Try to follow all the instructions of Prahlāda. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam, at Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. Prahlāda Maharaj said, "Hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him," in other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. Try to follow Prahlāda and also follow your Guru. Don't disobey him. Always perform Vishrambhena Guru Seva, intimate service to Gurudev. Follow all the instructions of the Goswamis and be happy forever. My benediction to you. Today I will pray to Lord Krishna and Lord Nishingadev for you all. Now we will see a drama about Lord Nishingadev. It must be completed before dark. At once, take the mic. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All right, so now I'd like to sing this. We can end with a kirtan. Let me just find it. 1 second. There it is. Prayer to Sri Nishingadev from Śrīla Gurudeva, verses 71 to 80. Perpetually residing, this is, okay. Perpetually residing, this is by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Perpetually residing within my wicked heart are the 6 enemies headed by lust, as well as duplicity, the desire for recognition, and deceit. My prayer at the lotus feet of Sri Nishingadev is that he will purify my heart and awaken longing within me for serving Sri Krishna. When will I, crying at the feet of Sri Nishingadev, beg him that I may engage in the bhajan of Shri Radha Krishna Yugal and Sri Navadip Dham, safe from all danger? When will that Sri Hari, the sight of whom, strikes fear into fear itself, become pleased with me and show me his mercy? Although he appears as embodiment of terror to the wicked, to Prahlāda and other devotees of Sri Krishna, he is exceedingly kind and gentle. When, oh when, will he be pleased with me and speaking words brimming with compassion, make this insignificant fool fearless? He will say, "O dear child, reside here freely in Sri Gauranga's abode. May you engaged in the loving service of the divine couple, and may you develop deep attraction for Sri Nam. On the strength of my devotee's mercy, all obstacles are cast far away. With a pure heart, engage in bhajan of Shri Radha and Krishna, which is saturated with ras." After having said such, when will that Lord happily place lotus feet upon my head? At once, in the divine prem of Shri Radha Krishna Yugal, I shall undergo ecstatic transformations, sattvika vikar, and roll about on the ground at the door of Sri Nishingadev's temple. Prayer to Sri Nishingadev. Okay. This time last year, we talked about making a plan to read this again. Since then, we have read it once, and I have read it one more time, and then again today. At this rate, it'll take us 27 years to read 108 times. Cool. So I can still actually do it within this lifetime. Okay, let me get my mridanga. E dushta hridaye kama adiri puchai kutinati pratishta shatya sada roy hridaya shodhanaya Krishna Rabasana Nṛsiṁhacharane more to kamana kandi Nṛsiṁhadeva magiboko kon nirapade navadvipe jugala bhajana bhai 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 jar darshana se Hare prasana hoibe kave more daya kore yadapi bhishana murti dushta jiva prati Prahlāda de Krishna bhakta jane bhadra ate kabe va prasanna hoye sakripa vachane nirbhaya koribe mudaya kinchane swachande baiso he vatsa Shri Gauranga dhame jugala bhajana ho rati ho name mama bhakta kripa bole vigna jabe dora shudachite bhajo radha Krishna rasa pura oye boli kabe mon mastakayo para sriya shri charana harshe doribe ishvara amani jogala preme satvika vikare daraya luti voyami Shri Nṛsiṁhadevare adharaya luti voyami Shri Nṛsiṁhadevare Jaya Nṛsiṁhadev Jaya Nṛsiṁhadev Nṛsiṁhadev Jaya Nṛsiṁhadev Jaya Nṛsiṁhadev 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 Jaya Nṛsiṁhadev Namaste Nṛsiṁhaya Prahlāda dayene Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Ito Nṛsiṁho parato Nṛsiṁho Yato yato yamitato Nṛsiṁho Pahi Nṛsiṁho hridaye Nṛsiṁho Nṛsiṁhamadim sharanam prapade Tava karakamalavare nakam Arbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipo Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Nara Hari Rupa Jai Jagaresha Hare Jai Jagaresha Hare Jai Jagaresha Hare Nṛsiṁha Jai Jai Prahlāda Jai Jai 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 Shri Nishingadev Jai Nishingadev Jai Jai Nṛsiṁha Shri Nishingadev Jai Nishingadev Jai Jai Nṛsiṁha Prahlādesha Jaya Paramukha Parma Vringa Prahlādesha Jaya Paramukha Parma Vringa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Nṛsiṁhadeva 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 Jaya Nṛsiṁhadeva Jaya Bhakta Prahlāda Bhakta Prahlāda Bhakta Prahlāda Jaya Bhakta Prahlāda Jai Sachinandan Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Gurudeva 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 Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhu Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Shri Nishinga Bhagavan Ki Jai Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi Ki Jai Nṛsiṁha Pravishtam Vishnupāda Shatarashatashmar Bhaktivedanta Nārayana Goswami Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudeva Ki Jai Nṛsiṁha Pravishtam Vishnupāda Shatarashatashmar Bhaktivedanta Vāman Goswami Mahārāja Ki Jai Nṛsiṁha Pravishtam Vishnupāda Shatarashatashmar Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai Nṛsiṁha Pravishtam Vishnupāda Shatarashatashmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Mahārāja Ki Jai Nṛsiṁha Pravishtam Vishnupāda Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nṛsiṁha Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nṛsiṁha Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nṛsiṁha Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shrada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vajra Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Bharata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Shri Nishinga Bhagavan Ki Jai Shri Lakshmi Nishingadev Ki Jai Shri Nishinga Chaturdashi Titi Ki Jai Titi Palan Karivakta Vrinda Ki Jai Bhaktaraj Bhakta Pravar Shri Prahlāda Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Shri Hiranyakashipur Tiravav Titi Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyavata Namo Vanksha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. I want to share something with you. 1 second. Vajanti Mala Mataji, she sent me a WhatsApp message this morning of her. She was just here not so long ago in Navadvip, and she went to Nishingadev one day, and it happened to be they're doing Abhishek. What the heck? There. How come it's not flipping over? Arrgh, that's so annoying. Anyways, let's see this. She just sent this to me this morning. Yeah, it's just like she went on a random day at a random time, and they were doing Abhishek. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna go there right now, actually, after. Oops. Dang it. Sorry guys, 1 second. Trying to flip it over. She made the video sideways. There. What the heck? There. Okay. Let's see this big. Can you see? Oh my God, it's upside down. Let's try this one. Let's look at the second one. There. Jai Shri Nishingadev. It's Nṛsiṁhadeva. I'm going to go there right now, actually, right after. Jai Nṛsiṁhadeva ki jai. How come this one is... Anyways, it's the same thing, I think. More of the same thing. There. Here, let's see this one. This one's... whatever. I give up trying. Let's just see it like this. There. Jai Nishingadev ki jai. All right, I'm gonna go there right now, and I'll see if I can make another video there, and then I can share that with you. All right, Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hari Bol, Mani Manjari Didi. Hi, Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Rohit, Radha Krishna ji, Rup Manjari Didi, everybody. Okay, I'll let her know that I shared it and everybody's thankful. All right, Hari Bol. Oh, wait. Before I go, one thing. You know, like in our Vine of Devotion group, we had it on Sundays here. We recite the shlokas in the morning time and the evening time. Well, now, just this one time, this 1 week, we're going to recite it on Tuesday instead. So that's the day after tomorrow. Everybody can recite their verse, and we're only doing one verse. I decided not to do 2 verses this week. We're going to only do one verse, the one that's E mata brahmanda bari ananta jivagan, chorashi lakho yonite koroi brahman. So everybody can recite that verse on Tuesday. If you want, join. So I won't be doing a reading, though, on Tuesday morning. So I guess we shouldn't start the 10th canto tomorrow then, because we shouldn't start the 10th canto and then break one day and then read again. So I wonder what I should read tomorrow. Let's do the recap tomorrow. Yes, that's what we'll do. We'll read all the chapter titles of all 10 cantos, of all 12 cantos. We'll read and then we can get a bird's eye view of the whole flow of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. Yep. All right, so see you tomorrow for that. And then the day after tomorrow. What's the day after tomorrow is... What's today? Today's the 15th. So on Wednesday, we will begin reading the 10th canto. And that day, the 18th, happens to be the day my Śrīla Gurudeva began his first Western tour in 1996. It's the Tithi of the day when so that's an auspicious day to start the 10th canto. All right, Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hari Bol, Ganga Didi. Hari Bol.